Peggy, aka JPEGMAFIA, is someone who surprisingly revels in statements both important and controversial, and that's what we all really love about him, and I think you can definitely agree with that. Now, I resonate with that statement, the statement about finding people who have an interesting and important message to say, and I try my best to inform others, aka you, the audience, of that, and that's why I make these videos. In my eyes, the music world has just too many great untold stories for me to just sit around and do nothing about them. The thing about Peggy is he knows he's the complete opposite of an industry plant, with a sense of genuinity. He's made music since he was 15, and he knows nobody cared about him until he was 28, and that's a pretty powerful sense of self-awareness as such. Peggy's career has been pushing contradictions and making noise about pushing militant agendas of black self-defense, and it's pretty clear. You want to mosh to it, but it has a clear message when you actually think about it and break it down. He knows his music won't be for everyone, and that's fine. And the best part is that he doesn't care. That unconventional vocal delivery, mixing punk rock with political rappers like Chuck D, make each song feel extremely intense. And yeah, Veteran was an example of an album that was unforgiving, relentless and aggressive. It borrowed and then subverted. And that's why me and a lot of people loved that project. Unforgiving, relentless and aggressive, relating to both tone and lyricism and content. There is no predictability, no clarity. Being political and disorienting takes center stage there. Now, when he released Cornballs, I was surprised, like most people, are more melodic, more synth-based and more mellow than anyone really thought it would be. Now, do we as a society think enough about PTSD, about the definition of masculinity, and what effects their rise and fame have on the mind? Nope. But that's what Peggy did on that project, and a lot of his other projects. And I think that's important. It's important also because he thinks there's a need for the antithesis of what's going on in rap. The stagnation of hip-hop with melodic trap and classic boom bap is something he's trying to put behind him. If you think about it, that's probably the main reason Peggy resonates with people as much as they do, because he's providing change. It goes back to how I think humans love novelty. We love understanding and hearing something new, something that gives us a new way of thinking. He has this belief, which I actually don't think you'll disagree with, where that being a public figure in 2019 means being politically correct, and that has extended to today's musicians. In the 1980s, it was easier to use societal buttons by people like Ice-T, for example. Now, I think being politically correct is good because of control, but at the same time, like Peggy, I think it's bad because it allows corporations and the media to sweep real issues under the rug. And Peggy wants rappers to start calling that out. For example, he hates how people will put their own pride before important subject matters of the world. Peggy is used to experiencing so much trauma that he has to speak out when he sees it. That's just the way he's built, and fine, not all of us are like that. If you don't say something or be silent or avoid it, to him, that shows your true character, to those who listen to you. To Peggy, anything that he thinks is shocking and he says is shocking on his music is something that is genuinely shocking to him in real life that no one else apparently is paying attention to. Think on that statement. He doesn't do it for the scare factor, but to let us face the reality of life itself. And it's definitely real. It's from someone who, aged 19, thought he wouldn't be alive at age 27. Working under crazy situations, working in an environment where the only mold was white masculinity, working in an insecure but stressful environment. That's what he had to endure, and it's definitely shaped him. I think all people, you, me, etc., we have to face the demons of the world and come back to reality to really make us understand how much we should and need to be grateful. But we also have to understand from those experiences that certain things in the world are not all sunshine and roses, but it doesn't have to be that way, and it shouldn't be that way. The one trait I think that links to happiness the most as subjective of a statement that is gratitude, unsurprisingly. Peggy has stated his aims have changed over time in relation to music. When he was young, all he wanted was for music to be his job, to pay the next bill, to make a life that he wanted. Now he wants to become popular, to be a part of a community, to be in debates, to be an established force of someone who can tell stories. I think it's cool that he knows the internet is a tool and that information is actually the ultimate weapon. It's an acknowledgement that human nature is our greatest strength and our greatest weakness at the same time. To Peggy, being free as an artist means understanding that there are consequences to doing what you like in life, but also understanding that failure is guaranteed. Once you know that failure is guaranteed and you're comfortable with it, that's the real definition of freedom.